Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Plays here with another episode of Mini Motorways. So in the last episode, we tried out the Los Angeles map, and in this episode, I decided that I was going to go ahead and explore some of the things called the challenge levels. So the challenge levels are, they'll give you 3 of them, and they're 3 random sets that have added difficulties to them. And they're the exact same for everyone, and your goal is to just get as high of a score as you can. So this first one is Highway to Hollywood. So, getting into this one, you get one motorway, it's rush hour, and it's just... So this one, I believe, is probably the middle of the 3 challenges in difficulty. The second challenge is, in my opinion, the easiest, and the final challenge is the hardest. So, in this video, I'm going to cover the first 2 challenges for you all. The third challenge, I'll probably make a whole single video on just because of how hard it is. I say hard, it's probably not that hard for a super experienced player, but considering this is my first time playing this game, and I've only had it for like 4 days, it's pretty challenging. Anyways, most of you all already know how this works. You have the cars, they go to the supermarkets, you'll get some extra supermarkets, add them in together, extra houses go along, and you'll see. If you haven't seen the first video, I'd highly recommend watching it just to get some context on how everything works exactly. So diagonals, they'll take up less space than the straight roads, and they cost less to build. At the end of every week, you'll get upgrades, and this time, I decided that I was gonna go ahead and get the traffic lights. Now, the final buff on here is that you'll get twice the amount of traffic lights. You'll notice over there the map just expanded as I was trying to mark where the edge was. It expanded right after. Very funny. And you'll notice that we're slowly coming to incorporate a river. And eventually we will include, I believe, 3 parks, 2 rivers, and 2 different parts of the bay. So we have now a 3rd supermarket. And it's the end of week 2. And since we already got traffic lights, I just went with the bridge this time. But yeah, normally it'll give you 2 traffic lights. For some reason it gave me 4. It's one of the perks of the specialty game mode. So now we got a blue house, dark blue I'll say, because there is a light blue that will come on later. But there's dark blue houses that connect in, and they're gonna overlap with the red, which is very unfortunate because the reds are already starting to fill up very fast. And at this time there's another red supermarket. Decided to go ahead and put a traffic light there. And add a bridge just to connect where they would go through. To make everything simpler. It really likes giving me the red buildings, I don't know why, and then it gave us another light blue building. So, went ahead, connected in that. At the end of week 3, end of week 2, start of week 3, sorry. Got myself a roundabout, and that is running out, so we're gonna just have to connect that. It's really unfortunate, all of the red buildings are on the same circuit. So it'd be a lot better if we were able to reroute that to go in a faster way. And at this time we got another light blue building. And we just rerouted it like that. Rerouted 2 of the light blue buildings to go to the bottom, and all the 3 of them actually. Got a 4th to add on, and then 3 of them will go up to the top. As you can see, we are slowly unlocking the 2nd river, and we are getting closer and closer to being able to incorporate that. At the end of week 4, I decided to go for 30 extra road tiles, just because I'm starting to run a bit low on some. You'll notice that the map is expanding, and like I just shown, we almost fully incorporated the river, and that was when we got this orange building. So basically, okay, never mind, that's not orange, that's red. I swear I'm colorblind. Okay, They upgraded to the circles. So the circles, as Real Civil Engineer calls them, they are IMAX cinemas. I don't know, he's British, I have no clue what that is. Anyways, basically, they are, I guess, very good to work with, very nice to work with. I couldn't really tell you, but they have extras. They can have extra journeys there, but they fill up faster. And I believe that in the game files, they're technically skyscrapers, but I'm gonna call them IMAXs just in respect for Real Civil Engineer. He's the one who got me into this game in the first place, just watching his series on them. But anyways, this red one was starting to fill up really fast, and looking back on it now, it would have been so much easier just to redirect some red houses. Anyways, just speed some things up here just to get everything down. But we got another green settlement down at the bottom, and week 6 took extra road tiles. So yeah, and at this point the red was starting to fluctuate in, so I really should have just connected some of the reds faster. And at this point I was only using the motorway for them, which looking back was very dumb. But as you can see, the traffic was not the best right there. Kept messing up just because of the sheer amount of yellows and the sheer amount of reds that were right there. And there's not enough space for you to put for a motorway. The motorway, you had to skid back. You can't do a roundabout. The traffic off the traffic light just wasn't good either. And then we got another green up at the top. So I spent this next time just trying to figure out how I was going to be able to save this. I'd managed to fix the one red building, but in doing so, the other red building and yellow building were starting to collapse, and at this point, it was just a matter of time to see whenever I ran out of luck, because just because I managed to fix one does not mean I've managed to fix all the others. And I was discovering that as there was timers appearing all over the place. The motorway, for some reason, wasn't allowing cars to go along it, and it was just a matter of time until it all failed. So, 722 commuters over 83 days, so that was an okay run, I guess. I mean, it could have been a lot better. Looking at the scores, see, it was not very good. Bottom 40, I think. Anyways, this is only half of the video, you'll notice, because I decided to do another one. Buy one, get one free in Mini Mysteries. So all weekly upgrades are doubled, and you can't tell what your choices are. It's just a mystery box. So this one ended up being a very interesting one because it was just random gambling, and it doubled everything for you. So, I think this one I might have ended up with like 20 traffic lights or something. Very crazy out the wazoo. But yeah, we're just gonna start off normal gameplay like always. And I have it on 2x speed, as I do. You'll notice over there, the maps, I guess, starts at the river. So, and then it'll just expand out to incorporate the full map. So now we have another red building. You'll notice that there's been a bit of lag throughout as it's been recording. Just whenever I was recording the game files, for some reason it was like really laggy. I have no clue why. Couldn't tell you. But we have these cars going by. And end of week 1. So yeah, after the end of week 1, we're doing pretty nice. Started week 2, lovely. We got another yellow supermarket, which was actually in a pretty ideal position. There was nothing really unfortunate about the position. And I decided to just reroute the yellow houses to go down and then out. You'll notice we're now expanding all the way to beyond the river, and we're starting to expand southward as well. So it's coming along very well for development, and as always, the game always starts out so simple, and you're gonna be like, yeah, I got this, and then it all falls out of your control. You'll notice we're now 3 tiles beyond the river, and we now have a little yellow suburb that's starting to appear over there. At the end of week 2, once again, I just picked random, got traffic lights. I had a lot of traffic lights at this point. Now we had the blue, and if you've noticed anything about my gameplay, you'll notice that what I do is I try and separate the colors, because that is ideally how you want to play. Because having all the colors intermingle, you're going to have to use extra traffic lights and roundabouts to try and make sure that they aren't taking too much time to get to their location. So it's just really unfortunate, and I had to do some really weird design here to try and get all the cars to go where I needed them to. Now we got a light blue, so we have light blue, dark blue, 2 yellows, and 2 reds. Got some extra houses. So we have 1 red circuit, 1 yellow circuit, 1 light blue circuit, and 1 red, yellow, dark blue circuit. So that red, yellow, dark blue, you'll notice like we have to use the traffic light. It's slowing down traffic a bit, it's just unfortunate. So now I have a motorway, and I decided to go ahead and connect that. And for this red building, I didn't know what I was going to do. I decided to just take away those reds and just use them. And this time, it was the end of week 3, start of week 4. I got extra bridges, that's very nice. So then we used the other motorway just to connect those reds that weren't, wobble physics. Anyways, I decided to connect the motorway down to the other building. So yes, as you all just saw, there's wobble physics with the highways. You can move them back and forth. It's really fun. Yeah. I decided to connect some of those yellows in, and that right there, connecting those yellows in, is actually the mistake that's gonna lead to my downfall, but we're gonna talk about that later. But yeah, that's gonna lead to my downfall. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say for now. So we're doing pretty good right now. Whenever green came out, we incorporated it in pretty seamlessly, and now we have yellows around the edges. So you'll notice that I deconnected those other yellows, but I'll connect that with a motorway. And now we're starting to get another yellow suburb up top. Start of week 7, get extra bridges, and we now have just like a super large suburb, and the blue building upgraded to an IMAX. You'll notice that we're also starting to have other blue buildings appear up top, and then we get another green supermarket. So we have blue houses, and you'll notice we got more traffic lights. This is what I was talking about with getting like 20 traffic lights. It was a hassle. Anyways, we then connected those 2 green buildings up. And you'll notice that the blue IMAX building is running very badly. It is starting to have a lot of extra pins on it, and that yellow building just upgraded. So we now have 4 motorways that are running around all the random parts of this place. At the point I disconnected those yellows just from the rest of their buildings, just that way they didn't have to run around anywhere. Start of week 9, I got 2 extra motorways, which is really nice. And we instantly used one of them up top with those yellows. Reconnected in some reds. And you'll notice that the blue went to a timer. So this is what I was talking about. Because of some of those yellows earlier, it originally started to lead to me performing more poorly. And then I connected all the blue houses, that way they could send extras as reinforcements. But the timer was still increasing. Put a traffic light there just to try and see if we can pass anything through. Dark blue upgraded to an IMAX, and at this point it was the other light blue building was also on the timer. Start of week 10, more traffic lights. Really horrible picking. I kept getting traffic lights. So now both of our light blue buildings were on timers, and then we got a third light blue building. This was not good. And we managed to get the one off, but the other one was now the issue. And I was trying to figure out what I could do to, like, salvage it. Not much, because I still hadn't connected up the other light blue building. And now this one, we managed to take a decent chunk off the timer. Other building still unconnected, so we added in another motorway. So, start of week 11, got extra bridges. So because I was focusing on, like, the light blues, I failed to realize that the dark blues were running at low, and that the greens were struggling. So, especially the dark blue, because they only had 2 buildings on their circuit, and then we got another one up at the top. So, I decided I was going to try and work on fixing everything, reconnecting the motorway, because the light blues and the dark blues were still struggling here. My run was starting to come to an end. The light blues, once again, I just didn't have enough time, I didn't have enough cards, and this time it was because the dark blues had to run over top them instead of the yellows. And as you can see, the dark blues running over top were hurting it just as much as the yellows were, and the yellows also had timers on them. So, and then I couldn't really do much. I saw that the yellows were getting timers as well. There wasn't really much that I was able to do for any colors at this point. Try to see if I could connect one singular yellow house around through the reds that were not struggling in an attempt, and that ended up connecting all of them, which it was an alright attempt, but the light blues still just too little too late here. And it ended up timing out. So, this time we got 1,570 commuters over a span of 80-ish days. So, going in on the actual leaderboard, stars in their eyes, it has me doing a lot better than the other one. Let's see. So, gridlock, of course, I'm not rated. But thank you all for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing to help me get monetized. Wherever you are, have a nice day.